Now funding on Kickstarter a brand new set of Halloween mask pins, vintage style pins designed by me, Kneon. Check it out at halloween.ninja. That's halloween.ninja. So apparently things are not going the way the left-wing media thought they were going to go in regards to the Odyssey. I think they were hoping to be able to dunk on all the chuds after this weekend. And there were some articles out there, obviously, that were like, look, the chuds were mad, but the Odyssey still made a bunch of money anyway.
Oh, yes, and they sabotaged my theater.
And they sabotaged my, yeah, you did the video on that. You sabotaged my theater. But yeah, Ben Shapiro loved the Odyssey. Now there's some controversy around that because people think he's on the take, and I've got a theory if that is true, but he might have genuinely liked the movie. I know a lot of people like the movie that didn't think they'd like the movie, and good for you. I mean, seriously, I am happy that you're happy. I had a chance to go see it. I didn't go see it because I thought I'd be bored. Because it was
this isn't my kind of movie at all. So
no, I know
our
you
son
wouldn't.
Liked it, and he said you would not like it, Mom. He's like, yeah, this is not your movie at all, but Dad would probably like it.
Yeah, so said. I mean, I will watch it when it comes out on streaming. I just did not. I went to go see Oppenheimer last year, and objectively, it was a good movie, but it's not a movie I'd ever watch again because it's boring as fuck in places. So it's like, I think they know it, and that's why they put Florence Pugh's boobs in the middle of it. They're like, hey guys, wake up, boobs.
Yeah.
That's the only reason she was there. Like, wake up, guys. We know you're falling asleep, but boobs. Yeah. So let's talk.
Would have woke up for those boobs. We're gonna have.
I didn't wake up for those boobs. I was surprised because I was not expecting the boobs. I didn't know anything about the boobs. I knew she was in the movie, but I didn't know that much of her was in the movie. I just thought it was about scientists. I'm like, well, there's not gonna be a tits in a science movie. Scientists don't get laid. I mean, come on. Anyway, yeah. But he did. So go Oppenheimer. Anyway, let's talk about this. This is not going.
Fat man. Anyway.
Let's talk about Ben Shapiro liking the Odyssey. People predicting that the right wing was going to completely melt down, and they thought they were going to stick to the judge. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the reason he did this specifically, if it is a culture war thing and he didn't just actually like the movie, was just to be like, oh, well, look, guys, we actually liked it. Then they'll be like, well, we hate that movie. That will happen is it'll shift. It'll be like, we hate Christopher Nolan. He panders to the alt-right. That'll be the next.
Well, yeah, the thing is, like, it gets me about this whole narrative, and it's not just this. I've seen it many times before. Is this idea that if you like it, you're obviously on the left, and if you hate it, you're obviously on the right. And it's so everything is so given through a political lens with these people. It is absolutely insane to me how they set this up. And I can't, and like they did the same thing with Captain Marvel and Alita. There's two strong female-led movies in the box office. Isn't that a win for what you wanted? And instead of that, the media pitted them against each other. That if you liked Alita, you're an alt-right chud, but if you like Captain Marvel, you're okay. You're on the left. And I was like, what the hell? Doesn't that against the message you've been trying to send? For one, and two, why? How is this the case? Like, I don't understand. Like, people like different things, and I know people who don't like things that I like, and vice versa, and they're this opposite me politically, and I just can't wrap my head around it. Like, sometimes we agree because it's almost as if not everything is fucking political.
Yeah. So
what's morons?
That's it. I think this is just another indicator that this whole like culture war thing is like, look, I'm not saying you're not going to have movies that are controversial from a political point of view, but it is definitely kind of winding down and not mattering so much, and especially with the Daily Wire, which we'll talk more about. There is really no need for a Daily Wire if everything is going right wing anyway, because they're all like Fox News is number one. The Ellisons are buying Hollywood. Like, okay, so I don't get what your deal is. There is no, like, you're going to have to flip the other way there, Ben, and become super far left if you want to be the alternative news, news outlet. So let's talk about this before we get to it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do. Woohoo. Go out to more.clownfishtv.com. That's more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV podcasts and videos you will not find anywhere else. And also go out to iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. Just look for Clownfish TV podcasts. So yeah, I love this headline. Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is going to drive the right wing completely insane.
Because,
Elon Musk's going to hate it. They're all going to hate it.
Yeah, but they're banking on the fact that they race swapped characters and then they made up a character for Elliot Page and stuff. And it's just anybody who's even about historically accurate stuff's going to be like, well, why did you do that? Because it's clear they did it for, stunt casting and talking points. And, that's fine because they're not in it very long, apparently. But
no, I think somebody said that Lupita Nyong'o was in it for like 3 minutes and Elliot Page was in it for like 5.
And the thing is, again, they did these things because it was stunt casting, and they're doing it to start controversy. But what got me was, you kind of have no spite your face because you're trying to alienate part of your audience just to be like ha 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 in your face. And they also make it out like they're such a big part of the movie, and they were having Elliot Page out there on the red carpet, like, oh look, Elliot Page is huge in this movie, and Elliot Page is barely in it.
Yeah.
It's like you're deliberately going out there trying to stir the pot. And that's dumb because you're alienating potentially half your audience. But it also bit you in the ass because a lot of people went anyway who don't lean politically the same as these people do. And they said it was okay. So, but they can't wrap their head around that. Like, well, you're going to hate it because you voted for Trump. It's like, but it's almost like people have different tastes and they can separate themselves.
Yeah, so I mean, this does show, though, I think, what a role the media actually plays in stoking the culture
the media is
war
a big part
stuff.
of it, which we've said repeatedly.
Like, they want you angry. Why do they want you angry? Well, if you're angry, then they can write about you being angry, and they can call a whole bunch of people bigots, Nazis, and homophobes, and they can rack up the clicks. And then I actually think they have some begrudging respect, or at least they realize that they have a parasitic relationship with YouTubers and podcasters too. And they deliberately write these headlines so people like us read these headlines. So then they get the hits, or at least the cloud of like, look, I made the right people angry. Snicker, snicker, snicker.
It's like, I'm not even angry. I just don't care about this movie. I just think that about this stuff, it just, they're going on about how, these people like that they tank the movie. But in reality, the ones who tank the movie most times are the media. Because they go out there with this idiocy to try to divide, and they're the ones that cost the movie half the box office right from the get-go. Because them are people, the activists working on the movies, that go out there and run their mouth. They're the ones that are actually tanking the box office. But then they blame, we were like, we didn't go because we didn't care, and they blame us for it. But it's in reality, it's the media who is tanking it more often than anybody.
I'm waiting for like everybody boycotts the Odyssey now. The second weekend drop. If it has a huge drop,
it's probably gonna drop,
because everybody wants to go see it in IMAX, right? But if it has a second weekend drop, a massive drop off, they'll be like, it's because the alt-right has adopted the Odyssey now. And they chased all the normies away. They'll find some.
As soon as Spider-Man comes, everybody's gonna drop it
all
anyway.
about this one. Yeah,
but it's funny to me though. As a side real quick, we've mentioned for a while now, and you were the one that said about it, the IMAX theater. You're like, well, the IMAX costs a lot more money, so I want to know how many seats are sold, not how much money it made, because it's going to be fewer people for more money.
Right.
We've mentioned, so now everybody's running with that. And then they're like, did you hear? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
What a concept.
What a concept, guys. That happens a lot. We have a lot of people out there that just like obviously listen to us. I'm just saying. All right, this comes from Variety. Ben Shapiro calls The Odyssey a masterpiece despite conservative outrage. Christopher Nolan is the best working director today. Oh my God, guys. Now, there is a joke going around on X that people are putting paid collaboration, I guess, on their tweets if they're praising The Odyssey, because in his video, there was YouTube, you have to disclose if you're shilling for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We've done it before. We have sponsors for a video. We got to put a little thing up in the corner.
We did a lot more when we did the Disney stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. But so he put that in the video. Now, I'm not sure if it's because he had another sponsor in the video. If he had another like My Pillow or whatever the hell whoever works with the Daily Wire now, if they were doing that in the video, he would have to put it in too. It doesn't mean that he was paid by the studio. It means he got paid for something that he promoted or gave a hat tip to in the video. And you have to do that in YouTube. They make you disclaim that, or you violate like FCC laws or whatever. So Ben Shapiro posted an 18-minute review of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey to his YouTube channel on Saturday, in which he called the Greek epic a masterpiece, despite the conservative outrage about the film's cast and historical accuracy. Nolan is unparalleled. He's the best director working today without a doubt. He just creates iconic movie after iconic movie. He said he also had lots of praise for Matt Damon, adding, I think he's great in nearly everything. He sort of disappears into the part in a way that he doesn't in a lot of other movies. He's great as Odysseus. He likewise gushed about several other members of the supporting cast: Pattinson, Tom Holland, Shapiro.
Now, our son said that the movie was good, but some of the casting, that like some of these actors, they thought they cast them because they were big names, not because they were best person for the part, and that they didn't carry it as well as somebody else might have.
Yeah, and they were also friends of Nolan. They've been, because even Paige was in, Nolan movies before too. So to me, it kind of reminds me of Scrooged, with Christmas Carol. It's like starring the Solid Gold dancers, and Mary Lou Retton is Tiny Tim. It's like, what? That's what it reminded me of. So it's like, like, oh my God, guys, big reveals. Lupita Nyong'o as Ellen of Troy. Anyway, I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, Lupita is supposed to look like Diane Kruger. I don't know. Diane Kruger doesn't look Greek. She's German. Nyong'o's a beautiful woman. Here's the thing. Actually, in the script, Nolan goes out of his way to explain that the war wasn't really launched over Helen being gorgeous. The political commentator did, however, take issue with Elliot Page's casting as Sinan. He called Page's role an absolute puzzler before pointing friends with Nolan. Worked in Nolan movies.
Yeah, and it was a character that was written in like fanfic later on. It wasn't actually in the book.
They have to make sure that, so this is Variety. They have to make sure they get the critical thing in there. 5'2", 105 pounds, soaking wet, and has the voice of a woman. It doesn't work. Yeah, transphobe. Despite outrage from right-wing voices like Elon Musk, Nolan recently told The Telegraph he's unbothered by the noise. He explained that online backlash comes with the territory. I think the marketing people went out of their way to stoke the backlash.
They did, and that's what our son said. He said that they did the movie dirty because they were deliberately out there trying to make it about that instead of making it about the movie. And he's like, you're already limiting your audience more because people are going to get mad and not go where they might have gone before. So it was really stupid. It reminds me of She-Ra with the Princesses of Power, where they were deliberately going out there trying to make the old fans and attacking old fans, so they wouldn't even give it a chance because they're like, no, you just pissed me off. And then they blame them when it doesn't do well.
Yeah. So Nolan said, I spent 10 years of my life dealing with Batman. When I came on Begins, Batman Begins. I had people working on the franchise for 65 years. People told me he was wrong. I remember about that. I remember there being a lot of backlash when he was announced for being the guy doing Batman. They're like, oh, Batman's going to be too realistic, too grimdark, too whatever. And a lot of people didn't go watch Batman Begins at first. I think they were still trying to get the taste of, sounds bad, the taste of Batman and Robin out of their mouth. But I think they also were like, this doesn't even look like a superhero movie. It's just a grimdark movie with a guy in black tights, but it worked. And then The Dark Knight was just massive because people watched it on streaming. So look, we said since day one it was going to make money.
But what gets me though
still
is
have no interest.
So I don't really care what Ben Shapiro said about it or not. But what I'm more interested in is the fact that now there's this narrative that we've decided that this is our far left movie because they did stunt casting, and conservatives are going to hate it, and then they're shocked when not everybody falls into that, because it's almost like the world isn't just black and white, as we've been telling you. The last time I saw this too was like with the vaccine mandates and or not even mandates, vaccines in general. They're like, well, only alt-right, whatever, go get the vaccines. Or don't get the vaccines. And it's funny because it was under Trump that they launched vaccines. But
there was a lot of backlash. I remember that because it was like, we're not going to take the Trump vaccine. It'll probably kill us.
Yeah, well, but then it became like, if you didn't take it, it's because you're a MAGA, all this other idiocy.
Yeah, you're going to kill grandma. And because it was released under Biden, but it was greenlit under Trump. It's the same damn thing.
They tried to say that the only people that weren't getting the shots were those people. And it's like, I know people that were very Republican and got the shots. I know people who were very Democrat who didn't. Because it was almost like it was a personal, it should have been a personal choice. That's one other argument. But people didn't feel comfortable. Some people did, some people didn't. I've seen like they had Jerry O'Connell was talking about how he felt threatened by his wife and daughters about election stuff. And then they had the girl who played Blossom. I can never say her name. Bialik, whatever.
Me and Bialik, yeah.
She was saying that, she felt pressured about speaking about the vaccines. and stuff like that. And there's people on the left who are coming out and saying that they felt that they weren't allowed to have an opinion or say anything because you had to tote the narrative. And that's just it. It's almost like people have different opinions across the board. It doesn't matter how you vote because this isn't a political thing. And as far as this Odyssey movie is concerned, it's just whether you like this kind of movie or don't. And a lot of people went to see it who were lean conservative who liked it. A lot of people who went to see it who leaned left liked it or didn't like it. But now it's come down again that the media is trying to spin it as if you like it, you're a fan and you're one of us. All the articles I even did. Well, real fans will know it's fantastic. And
yeah,
it's
I know. What's
and
this whole real
fans don't know anything because they voted for Trump and they're sabotaging my movie theater by cutting the power.
Yeah, so that for me, the biggest tell that somebody is. I would say not only left wing, but also completely enamored of and smitten by corporate products. They're basically fans of corporate products.
They like to smell their own farts.
Unpaid employees of the company, right? It's this whole real fans thing. It used to be that it was a bad thing to gatekeep, to be like, oh, I'm a real fan because I've been reading the comics for like 40 years. Now it's like, well, real fans like everything that comes out from a corporation. They just
but real
slurp
fans
it all
like
up.
This version because that's what I like, and I'm a real fan, and you're not.
It's so stupid. It's like, are we 12 years old that you have to do this real fan shit? Like, entertainment is not necessary in the grand scheme of things. It really is not. It's something people do for a pastime, but people make loving movies or whatever their entire personality, loving a brand, their entire personality.
It's not even just loving it because you're allowed to like it, you're allowed not like it, as we've said all the time. It's that they love it and then they make it their life's mission to find any dissenter and immediately label them as an istophobe, a terrible person, or whatever. It's like, I didn't like the movie. Well, that's because then they just like throw all these insults and say that they're MAGA and all this other idiocy because that's the worst thing ever to them, apparently. And it's like the person's like, might be like, I didn't like it because I didn't like, I wasn't a big fan of this show to begin with. My friend brought me, or something like that. It was something stupid, something that was or a very fair criticism. And then immediately you're dogpiled and called names. And it's insane to me. Or even the other way where you're a tired snowflake and all that stuff. And it's just, there's nuance, guys. It's not all black and white. I think most everything is shades of gray. And I get so tired of it. And the media doing this shit. And the social media campaigns and the PR people doing this shit. This is what is tanking your movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even making these stupid decisions in the first place just for, just for shock and a narrative or what, that's also taking your movie because even people who agree with you, as soon as they think there's some kind of political anything with it, agenda with it, they're not going either because they're tired of hearing it.
So yeah, it's just the whole thing is just, I mean, everything is just so effed up right now in this space. And it's like fans and anti-fans and anti-fans and I can't, whatever.
It's like, fuck off. If you like it, you like it. That's cool. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's also cool. If you think that historically it shouldn't have been made race swapping characters, that's fair. If you have no problem with the stunt casting because, you like that idea and you don't think it matters much, that's also valid and who cares? If somebody doesn't agree with you, who cares?
The only reason I didn't go see it is because it looked boring as fuck to me. That's literally it. That's the only reason I didn't go see it.
Not a me movie at all. And our sunset is very, like, I ache into a horror movie, and I hate horror movies.
So he ends it with, if conservatives want to be effective in the culture, you can't just label the entire piece of art bad. That is true, because the decision in the art is bad. He says,
but again, the same to the other side. You can't say it's great just because of the political leanings either.
So yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. So that's how media for the last 10 years has basically been like, this position, then the anti to this position has been very polarized. I think part of it, I mean, does Ben Shapiro actually feel this way about the movie? Yeah, he probably does. I mean,
Our son said it wasn't bad. He said it was pretty good.
I know a lot of people that went to go see it and they loved it, and that's fine. Made a lot of money. A lot of people went to go see it and they loved the movie. They thought it was great. That's good for them. I just think it looks boring, and I'm not really into.
I don't understand the whole circus around
stuff.
It. To be honest with you, other than the media.
The casting was weird. I mean, there's some weird choices.
But the media and the PR making a big deal out of it is what caused the problems.
So, I just want to remind people, I mean, they're talking about, Ben Shapiro being a sellout or whatever. I think you're going to see the Daily Wire pivot to center because he's looking for money. He's looking to sell the company.
Well, all the media outlets are starting to pivot to center.
Because they're okay. So on the left, they're pivoting to center because they want to survive and they don't want any run-ins with the FCC. So they're starting to go back to center now. And on the right, they're going to pivot more to center because they want to sell this company or whatever. Everybody's trying to survive. And I think they're starting to realize that just overall, everybody's getting sick of this shit. Not everything's a battle. Like, look, don't sweat the small stuff. You pick your battles. You pick the hill to die on. And have there been some terrible fucking decisions in entertainment over the last 10 years? Oh God, yes. Will there be more terrible decisions? Yes. Have there always been terrible decisions in entertainment? Yeah, it just seems like there were more of them because we added this whole political angle. Plus we also started hiring people that really weren't terribly qualified to do the job.
Everybody's tired of it, which is what I'm saying. I think even people that agree with them politically, as soon as they start seeing agenda shoved into it, they don't go because they're like, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm sick to death of it. Can we please move on?
Yeah. So
I'm tired of it.
I don't even want to talk about, we'll talk about the Odyssey maybe if there's like any major news, but I think it's going to do okay. I think Spider-Man's going to come out and it's going to eat its lunch. I think it'll probably get close to $1 billion. I don't know if it'll cross $1 billion, but I think it'll get close to it long term. And then, people go see it and they'll forget about it in 6 months. That's just kind of how it works, right? So, and I'm sure it's somebody's favorite movie. I'm sure Oppenheimer was somebody's favorte movie and not because of the bouncing boobs.
Hey, I just you're allowed to like it, you're allowed to not like it. I don't understand why everybody just gets so militant about everything.
I don't know. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Now funding on Kickstarter, a brand new set of Halloween mask pins, vintage style pins designed by me, Kneon. Check it out at halloween.ninja. That's halloween.ninja.